You know, there's some days in this business where you try to do a 4-hour talk show and you're scratching your head trying to figure out something that you out there want to hear. And then there's some days in this business where you have enough to do a 24-hour talk show. Today is one of those days where I have enough to do a 24-hour talk show. There's some interesting stuff that really caught my attention. And the way I do my radio show, if it catches my attention, because I've always told you I do the show for me, and if I entertain myself, I have the confidence that I'm entertaining most of you out there. I think you've all heard of Charlie Sheen, right? And I don't think you've all heard his interviews of the last week or so, especially the last couple of days. Charlie Sheen was on this morning on Good Morning America. Now, you got to remember one thing. He is an actor. A lot of people say that he has a drug problem. I'm not really convinced of that. I think a lot of these Hollywood people understand that this is all free publicity. Charlie Sheen is the biggest Googled name in the world right now. Getting more publicity. He's probably getting over $1 billion worth of free publicity if you add up every TV station, every radio show, every print publication, and every internet site that is covering him. I got about a 4-minute interview with Charlie Sheen on Good Morning America I want you to take a listen to. Now, pay attention to this. This is unbelievable stuff.
Your anger and your hate, I think, is coming off as erratic to people.
Passion, my passion. It's all
okay,
passion.
Your passion
yes.
is coming off as erratic
right.
to people.
Well, you borrow my brain for 5 seconds and just be like, dude, can't handle it. Unplug this bastard. Yeah, because it fires in a way that is, I don't know, maybe not from this particular terrestrial realm.
I think some of those things that you're putting out there are making people think something's wrong with you.
That has nothing to do with me, really. I mean, they're entitled to, I suppose, interpret stuff as they must. What are you a doctor of?
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
Wow, what does that mean?
I guess that, you know, you're on 2 ends of the spectrum.
Wow. And then what? What's the cure? Medicine? Make me like them? Not going to happen. I'm bi-winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? If I'm bipolar, aren't there moments where a guy like crashes and like in the corner, like, oh my God, it's all my mom's fault? Shut up. Shut up. Stop. Move forward.
Have you had any celebrities reach out to you to try and help you?
Yeah, like radical people like Sean Penn and Mel Gibson and Colin Farrell and just radical people, and they're not telling me what to do.
Who gave you the best piece of advice?
Oh, they didn't give me any advice, and within that, there's great advice. It was just love, and so just to see. It's oftentimes says unknown, but occasionally a giant marquee name comes through on your caller ID, and it's like winning.
When was the last time you used?
I use a blender, I use a vacuum cleaner, I use household items. When was the last time I ingested or took drugs?
Yes, when was the last time you took drugs?
Such an AA stupid expression or term. I don't remember. I do not remember.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago,
maybe a month
2 days
ago, 6 weeks. I don't know. It was a couple days before the suits rolled in and said, change it, change everything, we're shutting you down.
Tell me about the last time you took drugs.
The last time I took drugs, I probably took more than anybody could survive.
What are we talking about? How much?
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed, I have one gear. Go.
How do you survive?
7-gram rock, excuse my ignorance.
That's big.
That's a lot.
Isn't it?
That's a whole lot. 7 grams is over 1/4 of an ounce. That's a lot of crack.
That's how he rolls. Wait, it gets better. It gets better. Wait, it gets better, I'm telling you.
Survive that.
Because I'm me. Because I'm me. I'm different. I just have a different constitution. I have a different brain. I have a different heart. I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
But you're only human.
Now, there's certain blends I will not entertain because that's how people go down. I'm too smart to do that. So, I'm sorry for the guys that happened to, but you should have read the directions before you showed up at the party.
So you actually have a strategy about how you take your drugs?
No, I just have a couple of rules. I don't know if it's a strategy.
You're clean right now.
Sure.
So is this better now? Your life now, clean with your children.
Yeah,
is
no,
it
it's
better
perfect.
than
It's not
being
better.
on drugs?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. No, it doesn't compare. They're whole different realities, you know. There's great things about both, but what I'm harnessing now is absolute, you know, focus. Mm-hmm. It's exciting. It's exciting. I've come back from a place that, you know, people can put labels on it and they can figure all this stuff out. They can try to like normalize it, boring, stupid, you know, and that's fine. But for me, it's I've just answered to a higher calling, and it happened in the blink of an eye, and I'm totally excited by it, you know.
Are you worried you're going to relapse?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going to. Period. The end.
But how do you
I blinked
know?
and I cured my brain. That's how. Everybody has the power. It's because everybody, you know, can't is the cancer of happen. Mm-hmm. Can't is the cancer of happen. I can't do it. The Nike slogan doesn't say just try it. Oh, okay. Just try it. No, just do it, man.
But you love to party.
I mean, what's not to love?
Wait till you hear this. This is tremendous. Now, I ask you this question. I mean, call me, 216-578-1100. I say I have more clips, but I want you to finish hearing this, and then call me, 216-578-1100 or 216-578-1111. Do you think this guy's acting? Very simple question. Or do you think this is reality with him? Well, wait till you hear. He talks about how he loves the party. Listen to this. This is good.
Especially when you see how I party, man. It was epic. The run I was on made Sinatra, Flynn, Jagger, Richards, all of them just look like, you know, droopy-eyed, armless children.
When you look back at the last time you used drugs, mm-hmm. Are you disgusted with yourself? Or do you think, how could I have done that?
I'm proud of what I've created. It was radical.
You're proud of that party moment?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Drugs?
No,
Why would you be?
Because I expose people to magic. I expose them to something they're never otherwise going to see in their boring, normal lives. And I gave that to them. I may forget about them tomorrow, but they'll live with that memory for the rest of their lives. And that's a gift, man. One
of the women said that she was afraid she might OD. One of the women who was here.
What's that got to do with me?
You're showing them the party.
You know, that's got nothing to do with me. That's all on her. And if she does, I'm sorry.
You say that you like the feeling of being on drugs, and it's
not
exciting
anymore,
and fun.
Not anymore. It bored the hell out of me after a while. I was like, okay, let's try something else.
How can anyone believe that you will stay clean, given your track record?
I'm not interested in what people believe. I'm interested in what I believe, and I believe in the truth. And that's what rules me.
Listen to this one last clip here.
I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. It's not available because if you try it once, you will die. Your face will melt off, and your children will weep over your exploded body.
Is this for real?
I think it is, yes.
See, I'm going the other way. I think this dude's acting.
Okay. I mean, he has had this issue for a very long time, and he's been arrested for assault and beating up women.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I mean, but listen,
that's not on him.
Listen to him talk, though. I mean, come on now. You have to remember, this isn't Joe the Barber. This is a trained professional actor who understands the business of Hollywood.
He's also really, really high.
All right, I'm going to play some of this because Charlie Sheen was also on with Alex Jones, all right? Take a listen to some of this stuff. Now, you got to listen close because he's on a cell phone here. Take a listen, though.
My motto now is you either love or you hate, and you must do so violently. And the reason you must hate violently is because, and you have to hate everybody that's not in your family, because they're there to destroy your family. And they will come at you in all forms and shapes. And therefore, there's nothing in the middle. I don't live in the middle anymore. That's where you get slaughtered. That's where you get embarrassed.
Now, people are calling and texting at 21095, brought to you by Pizza Pan, saying, is this for real? This is the God's truth. I mean, this is why I wanted to play it for you today, because I know a lot of people are busy and they don't pay attention when they get home from work or stuff like this. And you don't. This guy is just off the hook. This is dead. This is honest to God for real. Charlie Sheen talking with Alex Jones. Wait, listen to him.
In front of the prom queen, and it's just not an option. So, you know, within that is tremendous focus and tremendous clarity and tremendous peace, because you have absolute and total resolve about your decisions. If you love with violence and you hate with violence, there's nothing that can be questioned. And people say, oh, you know, you're going to work through your resentments. Yeah, no, I'm going to hang on to them, and they're going to fuel my attack. and they're going to fuel the battle cry of my deadly and dangerous secret and silent soldiers, because they're all around you. Anyway, thought you were just messing with one dude. Sorry. Winning.
Well, Charlie, I mean, I tell you, it is amazing. And I just appreciate you coming on today so folks can really hear the energized, unleashed Charlie Sheen. You wanted to talk about AA because, you know, when I was at your house, I said, man, great job being completely sober and, you know, how important it was.
But I can't use the word sober because that's a term from those people, and I have cleansed myself. I closed my eyes, and in a nanosecond, I cured myself from this ridiculous model of disease and addiction and obsession. It's just the work of sissies. The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning. You know, this bootleg cult. You know, arrogantly referred to as Alcoholics Anonymous, Alex, supports a 5% success rate. My success rate is 100%. Do the math. Take, for instance, its founder, a desperate and, broken down plagiarist, stayed high on acid until the day he died. I can't seem to find that chapter in his silly book of lies. And then, Alex, try to get your mind around this as a fellow warrior deep in the trenches. Their entire manifesto is built upon complete and total surrender, or the concept of complete and total surrender. They urge you to put down your sword and come join the winners. In 22 years, the only winners I could locate in their toothless warren were either driving a convertible van or living like trolls under some abandoned bridge. Another one of their stupid mottos, Alex, is don't be special, be one of us. Newsflash, I am special, and I will never be one of you. There it is.
You sound like Thomas Jefferson.
Well, I'm not Thomas Jefferson. He was a no, but I dare anyone to debate me on things. Debate me on AA right now. I have a disease. I cured it with my brain, with my mind. I'm cured. I'm done. Well, we all have to sit in here and touch ourselves and frown. Well, you know, you don't look like you're having a lot of fun. I'm going to hang out with these two smoking hotties and fly privately around the world. You know, it might be lonely up here, but I sure like the view, Alex.
Well, it happens when you become the top of your game. You know, it's a double meaning. It is lonely at the top, and then a lot of people do hate you, come after you, attack you. And I know for years you've just put up with it, but it sounds like you're done.
I'm done. I'm done. It's on. Bring it, as I say. I ain't hiding.
That's Charlie Sheen with Alex Jones. Now, today, Charlie Sheen called Howard Stern on satellite radio. He called in. I'm telling you, this is a publicity stunt. Watch the contract this guy signs. Watch and see. You got to remember, this is a professional actor. This is not some drug addict off the street. This is a professional actor. WTAM 1100, you're in the air.
Hey, Trip, thanks for taking my call. You know, how this with Charlie Sheen, it sounds a lot like Robert Downey Jr. when he's in the same state. And for Charlie Sheen, you know, you have alcoholics and drug addicts that hit their rock bottom. Well, that guy's not even nearly close to hitting that point right now.
This guy's making $2 million a week.
Well, he's blowing his money, and not only that, his head's all cracked out. I mean, that guy's doing all that crack cocaine.
So you buy it then?
I don't know if he's putting on a show or what, but you know, anybody that's doing that much partying that they, you know, allegedly say he's doing.
Well, I understand, and thank you for the phone call. We got 1 million texts here at 21095, and the damn screen refreshes so fast.
I didn't get that text yet, you know?
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. But go up just a little bit more. No, I mean down a little bit more. I'm sorry. It's going to refresh. Never mind. I'll just try to do it from memory. There was a text up there that said, obviously from a guy that has done crack out there, who texted us. He says there's no way he could do 7 gram rocks, Charlie Sheen.
No.
He said there's no way. That's another, if that's true, I mean, I don't know if there's any dopers out there listening to us. Feel free to call 216-578-1100 or 216-578-1111. But we got about 3 texts from supposed crackheads that have done crack or are still doing it, whatever. And they said that there's no way you could do 7 gram rocks.
there really isn't.
So if that's the case, do you understand now my point?
But drug users tend to over-dramatize what they've done. I've done it. Seth's done it. You probably did it back in the 70s, but you don't remember.
Never did a drug in my life. All right, we've been talking about Charlie Sheen. If you haven't heard some of his comments, we played him in the last half hour. They are unbelievable. We'll continue to play him for a while here. Mike, you're in the air, Mike.
Yeah, from my experience with people that I've known that have had drug problems, okay, I don't think you could fake this level of delusional paranoia. I mean, this guy is going off the deep end, something fierce.
Well, wait a minute. Let me just respond to that very quick, and I'll let you continue.
Okay.
Why not? There's actors that have performed those type of parts.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at the look in his eyes, the way his eyes are darting all over the place, and how kind of pasty and crappy looking his face looks, I don't think this is an act. I think this guy is on a death spiral.
Watch Black Swan and watch the what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Watch the performance she puts on.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see something crazy,
right?
So I mean, I think only a trained actor can pull something like this off. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. It's just my gut feeling with this guy.
You remember how Bruce Smith looked when he was, going through his drug problems? There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Well, you got a point. WTAM 1100. You're in the air.
Hey, Mike. How are you? This is Mike from Akron.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, I'm an alcoholic, and I found, I agree with the previous caller that I don't think it's an act, but maybe a different take on it is that he's got the network by the Coyones, since they have the highest rated show in television, and I think that's what's making him kind of delusional. And I kind of agree with some of the stuff he says, but I go to AA meetings every day, and it's hard to get rid of some of these resentments and stuff, and you spend a lot of time in those rooms listening to people blame their problems on everybody else, and that's kind of what he's doing. So but he's got the power of money behind him.
What do you think how do you like his comments about AA?
Some of them I don't agree with them, but
is he accurate in saying their success rate is 5%?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'd put it over 50%. I wouldn't say more than that. But, it depends on how you define success rate. I see a lot of people in these rooms that, come back 3 and 4 and 5 times. But the point is they're coming back, and they're trying to get sober, and they're trying to save their life, save their families.
All right, okay. All right, I want to get a bunch in here. Let me go to Brian here. Brian, you're in the air, Brian.
Hey, Triv, first-time caller.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Don't try to do it yourself.
I'm okay. No, I'm not.
Go to AbsoluteRoofingInc.com.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you as far as it being an act. The other guys called in about being sober and stuff. I didn't tell that to your screener, but I got 16 and a half years, and I did it through AA too. But he is an actor. And if he looks pasty on air, well, if they don't put the makeup on him, that explains that. But, this all started out, like I was telling your screener, it started out with the first interview with Alex Jones. And I believe it's for publicity, but I think it's for Alex, because Alex has been on a rant for quite some time about Glenn Beck stealing his material and Glenn being on mainstream media.
Yeah. Well, today Charlie Sheen called in to the Howard Stern show.
Well,
so
again,
that just sort of solidifies my thinking about it's a publicity stunt. I don't know. I could be wrong.
And he's actually incorrect about a 5% success rate in AA. It's actually 3 to 5%.
3 to 5%? Is that what they say?
That's agreed upon.
Yeah. Somebody called earlier and said that, you couldn't fake that. You couldn't act that. You couldn't perform what Charlie Sheen is doing right now, right? Somebody just texted us and said, I did not see the movie The Fighter, but Christian Bale in The Fighter, they said, end of story. Was that a hell of a performance he put on? Did anybody see the movie?
I didn't see the movie, but I've seen clips, yeah.
So I guess you can. My point.
Take a lot of caffeine, like drink a lot of coffee.
Right.
He's imitating his. If he's faking it, which I don't think he is, he's imitating his dad in Apocalypse Now. That's what he's doing. Because his dad lost his mind.
Yeah.
And it's his favorite movie. And he talked about, earlier on in that interview with Alex Jones, he talked about Apocalypse Now. It's not,
We got a text here that says, Triv, Sheen looks horrible. Find pictures of him a year ago and compare him to now. Can we do that? So I could take a look at that, please? Let me go to Jason here on my 650 Gold line. Jason, you're in the air, Jason.
Yeah, how you doing, Mike?
Good.
Good. I'm just calling. I totally agree with you. I think it's a publicity stunt. In Hollywood, there's no such thing as bad press. I mean, they always say that, and the guy is everywhere right now. I mean,
he's getting $1 billion. I'm telling you, he is getting $1 billion worth of free publicity.
Yeah, I mean, he's everywhere, and he might be on drugs. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that scene. You know, I mean, I've never done drugs. And if I did, though, it would be different. I mean, Charlie does drugs, and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders in a room with him. You know, I do it. I'm in a bar in Parma. Big difference. I can't relate to that.
Yeah, he's got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. We go, we guys around here do it. They're in the with two skanks in Parma, right? Yeah,
Jimmy with no teeth and a beer belly.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, right. I never thought of that. That's a good point. Thank you for the phone call. A little more of Charlie Sheen on the Today Show. Take a listen.
The first question America wants to know, are you clean right now?
Look at me. Duh. Drug tests don't lie.
When was the last time you did drugs?
Don't remember. Don't care. Drug tests don't lie. Scoreboard doesn't lie.
You say you've cured yourself of addiction. You don't need Alcoholics Anonymous. How have you done that?
I closed my eyes and made it so with the power of my mind. I had to unload 22 years of fiction. And just decided that I don't believe that anymore, and I know my own truth, and that's what I stand on right now.
What kind of fiction?
The fiction of AA. It's a silly book written by a broken-down fool who was a plagiarist. They think it's a one-size-fits-all, but it didn't fit me, and I just got tired of subscribing to something with a 5% success rate. As a retired gambler, I need better odds than that, you know.
Did you turn to alcohol and other substances because you were bored?
No, I did that because they work.
Work to do what?
Just change the way you see things, change the way you feel. And yeah, when you're a little bit bored with the redundancy of certain aspects of your life, I think that's why people do them.
Did you feel out of
control? We'll play a little more Charlie Sheen. We just, I don't know, I don't even want to get into it with our website. It's just a joke around here lately. But anyway, I just looked at a picture of, we just had it up there, of Charlie Sheen today and Charlie Sheen last year. Is that what that's from, those two photos?
Yes.
You see much difference?
He's a whole lot thinner now.
You think so?
Yeah, not much difference.
I don't see much difference, do you?
Not a ton. If he's acting, then he can pull off not looking as good anyway.
Charlie Sheen, 48, 49, how old is he? Do we know? WTAM 1100.
He's 45, but I'll check.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, Trev, Tom, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, this guy, he's got cut in the jugular vein. He goes from $2 million a week. He got caught, and you're right. He's making $1 billion in publicity.
Oh,
it's the only income he's got right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about this. I mean, he gets $2 million an episode. There's an episode a week, right? Of course, they don't run all year. So
it's like 20, 22 a season.
Yeah. I mean,
he's only making $44 million.
The guy, he's making, $40, $50 million a year.
Yeah.
After Obama gets done with him, he'll have about $6 million to live on a year.
That's enough.
He'll be paying for every person in the country that wants to get 99 weeks of unemployment. They'll be taken out of his check
immediately because he's rich, so he can afford it.
Right. So, I mean, I guess he could blow that kind of money, huh?
I think with cocaine, yeah.
Yeah, but he's doing crack. Crack is like 10 cents.
But he's also doing regular cocaine, or was.
I never understood how guys go broke buying crack. If you got tons of money, was what I'm saying. Cocaine, I could understand.
Yeah, I don't. If he was only doing crack, I don't think he can go broke. I think he would die before he went broke.
Like, what is a thing of crack?
$10.
$10?
$10, $15.
What about them giant things he was gorgling?
You're looking, that's over $100, I'm guessing.
Tim, you're in the air on WTAM 1100.
Yeah, hi. I found the Charlie Sheen thing is, I think the people who are really remiss are the people in the boardroom behind the scenes who want to get rid of him because he was the highest paid sitcom actor. I mean, he had surpassed Raymond from Everyone Loves Raymond. And I would imagine he's suffering like in his mid-40s. He's going through some midlife crisis, maybe a little depression. I noticed in his shows he always wore shirts to hide his paunch a little bit, and that makes you insecure. But
Not
he
me.
just played his tape. He didn't sound insane to me. He sounded like a person trying to understand life like anybody else. And I think that the people behind the scenes want to get rid of him because his contract, he was just so highly paid. And I'm not sure.
But he has got the #1 show on television.
I don't watch it. It's 2.5 Children. It's not something that appeals to me. I watch House.
It doesn't matter.
And some other shows.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know, why it's popular. I mean, I watched MASH a little bit. I watched Cheers. I wasn't a fan of Friends.
Tim, it doesn't matter what you watch, okay? America is watching the program. It's the #1 program in America, so he's not highly overpaid.
Well,
in fact, he's probably underpaid when you have that type of show.
Nobody's watching it at all now if they're not doing episodes.
Well, there's no talking to that guy. Let's go back to the phone lines here. Let's go to Charles. Charles, you're in the air.
Hey, hi, Trev. How are you today?
Speaking of hi, we've just been talking about Charlie Sheen.
Listen, I'd like to take just a moment. There isn't a family in America that hasn't been touched by cancer. And I just want to thank you for the work that you have done, and I know we'll continue to do it one level or another, and know that all of the families in America owe you a debt of gratitude.
Thank you.
Now, when it comes to Charlie Sheen, I agree with you 100%, which oftentimes I don't do, but I think he is playing this to the absolute max as far as the publicity he can get. The last 2 mornings, he's been interviewed by Jeff Rosen of NBC, who you just played a little bit of. And both mornings, Jeff discussed the drug situation with him. And both mornings, Charlie said, and I believed every word of it, I don't remember the last time I took drugs. He probably did sometime in the years gone by. And Lord knows he's probably got an alcohol issues with alcohol that he has to deal with. But I think he is acting and trying to get everything he can get out of this.
I think he's going to sign, and I got to move here, and thank you for the phone call. I think he's going to sign a contract that's going to knock your eyeballs out. What's the name of the show he does? 2.5 kids or something?
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men?
Yeah.
And he gets $2 million an episode?
Yeah.
And he's holding out for 3.
Yeah.
He might wind up with 4 when this is all over.
Okay.
Do you know what he pays in child support every month, though?
$150?
No. It's more like $110,000
a month.
A month to each of his wives or ex-wives.
Get the
soon to
hell
be
out of here.
ex-wives. No, it's $55,000 for each one. So that's a lot of money. That's
$110,000 a month. I wonder if he gets to deduct that. WTAM 1100, you're in the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was because I was listening to the program. Yeah, I think Charlie Sheen's a rock star. I think I'd be doing the same thing if I were in his shoes.
How old are you?
34.
34. So if you were making $2 million, well, if you were making $50 million a year, you'd be partying your ass off, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You are a true American.
I'd be ladies' man. I'd be.
Yeah. Well, trust me. If you were making $50 million, there ain't a lady in the country you couldn't have. Don't matter what you look like.
Oh, and I am.
Especially in today's day and age.
I'm a first-time caller, Trev.
Right, well, thank you.
Don't try to do it yourself.
I'm okay. Oh, no, I'm not.
Go to AbsoluteRoofingInc.com.
I kind of have to agree with that guy, though. There's something to be said for partying your ass off when you got it. Why not? Porn stars and drugs. I mean,
I'm insanely jealous of Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I have no problem. He's been saying that everybody's jealous of him. Yes.
I was really jealous of him when he was gambling.
Yeah.
WTAM 1100, you're in the air.
How are you, Trev?
Wonderful.
How are you, Trev?
Wonderful.
I'm calling to tell you to set the record straight. You know who this is. We won't mention names. But if you want an eyewitness thing, I do 2 grams a day.
You do what?
Nothing. 2 grams a day. He
Two
said-
what?
2 grams a day of rock.
Grims?
Grams.
Oh, grams.
Yeah, that's what happens after 28 years of doing it.
I did 4 grams today with peanut butter.
Well, I'm telling you the truth on the rock. Rock is cocaine.
Graham crackers?
Yes, they were
That's not what
tremendous.
he's talking
with the
about.
cinnamon on them and everything.
You mix the cinnamon and peanut butter?
No, the cinnamon was already already on
Those are good.
the grams.
And then you put the peanut butter on top of it?
On top.
Want to know any answers to your questions that some people been telling you wrong? I'm an eyewitness to it. I'm about to sit down and have some in a little while.
Have some what?
Some rock.
Are you going to have 7 grams?
No, I'm going to do 2 today. That's all the money I got.
Really? Why don't you do it live on the air?
Well, why don't you pay for it and I'll do 10?
Why don't you kiss my ass and don't do any?
All right.
Yes. Why don't you do it on the air?
Well, let's make an arrangement. I'll bring my equipment.
No. Right now I'm talking about.
Well, I'll have to call you back because I'm waiting for it momentarily.
What do you mean you're waiting for? You get it delivered?
That's right.
Yeah.
When you spend the kind of money I do for 28 years, you get it delivered.
Delivering the goods at every frickin' turn.
You better hope it ain't a narc delivering it to you.
I only deal with 2 people, and that's it. If someone else comes in, what do you want? They don't live here.
What are the 2 people's names you deal with?
Yeah, I'm going to tell on the air. Mike, you know this. Do you expect to make a fool of me now? I called to answer your questions that you've been getting wrong from some, intentional good people calling you.
You can't do 7 grams at one time, can you?
Mike, here's the thing. Not at one shot, boom, but in a 20-hour period, I sit down, I relax, I put on your show or some good music, and I have a hit, nice little puff. Like you take a shot of blue. You get used to it after a while. Mike, tell the truth. How long you been doing blue, and how much more do you do today as opposed to when you first started? You need another shot, right or wrong? Come on.
I love the people who call up the show and say, your information's all wrong. Well, it's actually right. So this crackhead just calls up, I've smoked 4 grams of crack at once and I survived, but 7 would have killed me.
Well, if he could fit it all in his pipe, which you can't, he cannot do it like that.
That's what we said!
Right, he cannot do it. But you gave me the impression that after sitting down, hit by hit, going through the 7 grams, let's say in 12, 13, 15 hours.
One sitting, not hours.
Oh, no, you can't. There isn't a containment apparatus.
That's what we said.
Okay, well, I misunderstood. I apologize for that, but it's derived from cocaine.
I gots to go to news.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the phone call. I gots to. I hope you smoke it well. Get back to Charlie Sheen. This is unbelievable stuff. Sometimes, I'm the type of person, when I hear something that should be played on the radio, I don't have that giant ego that I have to hear my voice every minute of the day during my show. I can't top this. I cannot top Charlie Sheen this morning on Good Morning America. Take a listen. I can't top it.
Your anger and your hate, I think, is coming off as erratic to people.
My passion. It's all passion.
Your passion
yes.
is coming off as erratic
right.
to people.
Well, you borrow my brain for 5 seconds and just be like, dude, can't handle it. Unplug this bastard. Yeah, because it fires in a way that is, I don't know, maybe not from this particular terrestrial realm.
I think some of those things that you're putting out there are making people think something's wrong with you.
That has nothing to do with me, really. I mean, they're entitled to, I suppose, interpret stuff as they must. What are you a doctor of?
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
Wow, what does that mean?
I guess that you're on 2 ends of the spectrum.
Wow, and then what? What's the cure? Medicine? Make me like them? Not going to happen. I'm winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? If I'm bipolar, aren't there moments where a guy crashes in the corner oh my God, it's all my mom's fault? Shut up. Stop. Move forward.
Have you had any celebrities reach out to you to try and help you?
Yeah, radical people like Sean Penn and Mel Gibson and Colin Farrell and just radical people, and they're not telling me what to do.
Who gave you the best piece of advice?
Well, they didn't give me any advice, and within that, there's great advice. It was just love, and so just to see. It's oftentimes says unknown, but occasionally a giant marquee name comes through on your caller ID, and it's like winning.
When was the last time you used?
I use a blender. I use a vacuum cleaner. I use household items. When was the last time I ingested or took drugs?
Yes. When was the last time you took drugs?
Such an AA stupid expression or term. I don't remember. I do not remember.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago,
Maybe a month
2 days ago.
6 weeks. I don't know. I don't know. It was a couple days before the suits rolled in and said, change it, change everything. We're shutting you down.
Tell me about the last time you took drugs.
The last time I took drugs, I probably took more than anybody could survive. You know.
What are we talking about? How much?
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed. I have one gear. Go.
How do you survive that?
Because I'm me. Because I'm me. I'm different. I just have a different constitution. I have a different brain. I have a different heart. I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
But you're only human.
Now, there's certain blends I will not entertain because that's how people go down. I'm too smart to do that. So, I'm sorry for the guys that happened to, but, you should have read the directions before you showed up at the party,
So you actually have a strategy about how you take your drugs?
No, I just have a couple of rules. I don't know if it's a strategy.
You're clean right now.
Sure.
So is this better now? Your life now, clean with your children?
Yeah,
is
no,
it
it's
better
perfect.
than
It's not
being
better.
on drugs?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. No, it doesn't compare. They're whole different realities, There's great things about both, but what I'm harnessing now is absolute, focus. Mm-hmm. It's exciting. It's exciting. I've come back from a place that, people can put labels on it and they can figure all this stuff out. They can try to normalize it, boring, stupid, and that's fine. But for me, it's I've just answered to a higher calling and it happened in the blink of an eye and I'm totally excited by it,
Are you worried you're going to relapse?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going to, period, the end.
But how do you
I blinked
know?
and I blinked and I cured my brain. That's how. Everybody has the power. It's because everybody, can't is the cancer of happen. Mm-hmm. Can't is the cancer of happen. I can't do it. The Nike slogan doesn't say, just try it. Oh, okay. Just try it. No, just do it, man.
But you love to party.
I mean, what's not to love?
Especially
when you see how I party, man. It was epic. The run I was on made Sinatra, Flynn, Jagger, Richards, all of them just look like, droopy-eyed, armless children.
When you look back at the last time you used drugs, are you disgusted with yourself? Or do you think, how could I have done that?
I'm proud of what I've created. It was radical.
You're proud of that party moment?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be? No,
Why would you be?
Because I expose people to magic. I expose them to something they're never otherwise going to see in their boring, normal lives. And I gave that to them. I may forget about them tomorrow, but they'll live with that memory for the rest of their lives. And that's a gift, man.
One of the women said that she was afraid she might OD. One of the women who was here.
What's that got to do with me?
You're showing them the party.
That's got nothing to do with me. That's all on her. And if she does, I'm sorry.
You say that you like the feeling of being on drugs and it's exciting and fun.
Not anymore. It bored the hell out of me after a while. I was like, okay, let's try something else.
How can anyone believe that you will stay clean, given your track record?
I'm not interested in what people believe. I'm interested in what I believe, and I believe in the truth. And that's what rules me.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. A lot of people are texting us saying, listen to the Alex Jones interview. I think this one's even better. I think this one's even... We did listen to the Alex Jones. We played that earlier today. We'll play it again in a little while, but I think that one was even better. John, you're on my 650 gold line, John.
Okay. Am I on there, Triv?
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, you made a statement about what's the guy from Ted Turner. What did he say? How he got rich?
Americans are the stupidest people on planet Earth.
Okay. Charlie Sheen is using the same model as the rest of the girl who did nothing but grow up in a rich family, who dropped coke out of her purse, and publicity. It's almost like politics. Well, politics there is such things as bad publicity, but this is beyond a stunt because he's trying to get that extra million. He knows how it works. The Americans who watch that stuff on TV, they want to see a guy go down because 90% of this country feels they're on their way down, and they feel like this guy's got problems. He's just like us, and they want to see him come back. It's the same old crap that this country believes in, and Charlie Sheen knows that this is a model. This is free publicity. In the cost-benefit analysis of this, he cannot lose. It's a no-lose proposition. So,
I'll tell you, yeah. I mean, the publicity, free publicity he's getting on television, radio, print media, and on the computer, on all the websites is $1 billion.
How much is it just for the Triv show?
Well,
It's got to be a mill or two.
Well, I'll tell you what, it would be thousands of dollars, the free publicity we've given them already today. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Just this little show here compared to the national shows like, Good Morning America or whatever, okay? Take a listen to these some of these short little clips here from Charlie Sheen.
I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. It's not available because if you try it once, you will die. Your face will melt off and your children will weep over your exploded body. Well, the war is that they're trying to destroy my family. And so I take great umbrage with that. And defeat is not an option. They picked a fight with a warlock.
You sound like Thomas Jefferson.
Well, I'm not Thomas Jefferson. He was a. No, but I dare anyone to debate me on things. Debate me on AA right now. I have a disease, and I cured it with my brain, with my mind. And if you're a part of my family, I will love you violently. If you infiltrate and try to hurt my family, I will murder you violently.
Stu, you're in the air, Stu.
Yeah, Mike.
Yes, Stu.
Yeah, hey, well, my point was this Charlie Sheen thing. I think the powers that be want us little people to have our attention turned away from what's going on in the world so that they can take a few more of our freedoms away. Well, we're not looking. Well, we're all focusing on Charlie Sheen. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think Charlie Sheen is powerful enough to take our focus off of what's going on. In fact, we'll be changing gears here in not too long, and we'll be talking about what's going on in this world and in this country. So I don't know. I just think that Charlie Sheen is see, you got to understand one thing, Stu, how the media works, and myself, everybody else. Anytime there's something like this that's high profile, that's off the cuff, off the wall, it's great stuff, and the media runs with it. I don't care what media outlet it is, they run with it, and they're just looking for ratings. That's all they're looking for.
Yeah, but Mike, it's not like on your level, but I mean at the very, very top of the people that control Hollywood. Mm-hmm. They're the same people that control the government, and they run everything, and they want to make us a one world place, and they have to have our attention somewhere else to do it.
Well, okay, thank you for that. Well, it sort of is one world place.
I mean, Seth and I, gather in the audio all day, and my biggest thing is, who cares? I mean, the guy likes to party. There's nothing wrong with doing drugs. I've done more drugs than probably most of the people listening, and I'm smarter than 99% of the people listening. Well, so it's not about it's harmful to you in that if he wants to do drugs, let him do drugs.
Well, he brings up a great point. They asked him on the Today Show if he was Good Morning America. Mm-hmm. They asked him if he was bipolar. And he said, "What if I was? All they do is give me drugs."
Right. So if he does have something wrong with him, he's self-medicating. What's wrong with that?
And he likes to have sex with porn stars.
And if it makes him happy, he's not hurting anyone else except for when he got booked for assault, but I don't think he was charged.
But see, I don't think having sex with porn stars is the way I would roll, to take a phrase from Charlie Sheen.
Well, I'd be rolling all over the place like that.
No, I would, well, and that's I don't want to get into it, but porn stars would not be where I would go if I was dirty. Making $50 million. You know what I'm saying?
You need a lot of buggy spray.
Yeah. The last thing I want to do is roll around with some porn star that's rolled around with half the country.
Right. That is quite disgusting.
I could
but
care less.
That's his point. His point is, who cares what Triv thinks? Who cares what Today Show thinks? He's doing what Charlie Sheen wants to do. And I think that's actually admirable. I look up to the guy.
Amen.
I think that he is living his life the way he wants to. He shouldn't have to answer for it. And now he's enjoying all this attention just like anybody in their right mind would enjoy attention.
You don't think it's an act?
No, I think he has been high in every single interview he's done.
I agree with Goldman.
I watched him on Piers Morgan last night. He had no iris. His pupil was his entire eye. He was wrecked last night on Piers
Iris,
Morgan.
from the Warriors?
No, different gal.
Yeah. Remember Iris? He was the leader of the gang. Wasn't that his name, Iris?
I believe so.
Yes. From the Warriors?
Yes. Can you dig it?
I don't know if I can. I don't even have a shovel.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I just think it's all an act. I really do. But here, before we go to news, if it is, what do you think his kids are saying, his daughters are saying right now? I mean, when they're going to hear all this and absorb all this in the future.
I don't think that he's your conventional father. I think that...
I mean, so many... I'll give you an example. And I'm 1/1,000,000th of Charlie Sheen. Maybe 1/10,000,000th of Charlie Sheen, okay? But I've been approached 3 different times to write a book on my life story because it's so interesting of how the whole thing turned out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have not done that book because to do it right, you'd have to tell all the right stories. And I don't want my family hearing all those right stories.
No, I get that, and your
But
grandkids...
obviously he doesn't care. This is what I try to tell you about Hollywood people. And then you want to take political advice? I guarantee we could go back in the archives somewhere. This guy had to give political advice somewhere.
Charlie Sheen, he writes letters to Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this is the guy you want to... No wonder this country's all fudged up. Our phone numbers are 216-578-1100 or 216-578-WAH-WAH-WAH-WAH. Brian, you're on my 650 Gold line, Brian.
Hey, Mike, I just want to tell you that I think Goldman is right. I think Charlie Sheen has the right to do whatever he wants to with his life. He's made his money. He's going to do whatever he wants to. And my question to you is, have you ever walked into a bar or a casino?
Have I?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That is your option, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my question to you is who is accusing you of going into that and giving you a hard time about that? That's his life. He's going to do what he wants to with it.
I'm not sure I quite understand the correlation, but I think you're trying to make one.
I am going to make it a correlation.
Yeah, could you further explain me walking into a casino and him doing drugs, the correlation there?
It's his life. He's not hurt. Is he hurting anybody?
No.
Are you hurting anybody going to a bar or a casino?
Depends on who owns it and how I do.
No, that's not true.
Yes. If I win a lot of money, I'm hurting somebody.
Well, if you win a lot of money, but I'm saying that if you lose some money...
Well, then I'm helping.
Right. So then if he goes into a bar or a casino...
Then I'm hurting my family.
Why are you hurting your family?
Because I'm blowing my bread.
Okay, but you're going into that...
See, there's different types of hurt.
Right, I understand that.
I'm not sure I understand this here.
I understand that, but...
Goldman, help me out here. This guy agreed with you.
He's saying that your vice happens to be Johnny Walker Blue and gambling.
What is a vice? A vice. A vice is something you put in to hold
That's
something.
a vise.
Okay? What are you talking about, a vice?
A vice is something that society looks at as a negative thing.
Talk
but
radio could be a vice.
Of course it is.
Yes, everything is a vice. And eating an apple could be a vice.
That's what I'm saying. So if his vice of choice is cocaine, beautiful.
Could you shut up for 1 minute, sir, and let Goldman finish there? Thank you.
Okay, I will.
Yes, go
If
ahead.
he chooses to have cocaine be his vice instead of gambling or instead of drinking or whatever, then that's his choice.
All right, sir, now your turn.
Okay, that's his choice. That is exact. He's not hurting anybody. He's hurting himself.
So what is your point?
My point is that you're saying that he is he's being on television and the media, and what you're doing is you're telling everybody that...
Sir, what is your name?
My name is Brian.
Brian?
Yes, sir.
You're not making any sense.
I don't.
No.
Well, he thinks
You don't have to have me on the radio if you don't want me to.
All right, I won't then. Thank you. I'll hang up on him. Yeah. I gave him his wish, his vice.
Yeah.
Yes. The guy wasn't making any sense.
No, because he was trying to formulate it as a disagreement with you, and you didn't disagree with me necessarily. You didn't agree. You didn't say anything.
I disagree with this whole last 3 minutes here.
Well, that's Brian.
I want my life back there.
I understand.
I don't know one thing you said or he said or didn't even mesh.
He's saying...
And he was agreeing with you. That's how wrong you are.
Welcome to the Goldman Show.
A guy that agreed with you, we couldn't understand.
Because he thought he was disagreeing with you, which isn't the case because you never made a stance on it. That's his mistake.
So why was he disagreeing with me if I never agreed with you?
Because he assumed, like so many people do, that we automatically disagree on everything.
You agreed to disagree.
Yes.
So I didn't disagree. I agreed.
You agreed with me disagreeing.
So why is the
agreeing to
guy
agree.
disagreeing?
I have no idea.
What the hell is going on here?
No idea what I'm talking about. Do you?
I'm still back on Vice and Vise.
Right.
The
Where
difference between those.
Where did Bernadette go? Let's pretend she's there. Bernadette. She hung up. I couldn't wait to hear that song. Debbie, you're in the air, Debbie.
Hi, Trev.
Are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Hold on a second.
Don't try to do it yourself.
I'm okay. Oh, no, I'm not.
Go to AbsoluteRoofingInc.com.
I can just feel first-time callers, even when they don't say it. Go ahead, Debbie.
Yeah, the last caller said that Charlie Sheen isn't hurting anyone, and he's hurting a lot of people. There's a potential for a lot of hurt because, if they cancel the show or whatever the ramifications are, all the people that work on that show, for the show, all those people are going to be out of jobs, and that's not hurting somebody. That's hurting a lot of people.
I have no idea what the last caller said, Debbie. I'm glad you got something out of it. I had no idea where he was even going. He was trying to disagree with agreeing with Goldman.
Right. But he said it's his life, and he's not hurting anyone but himself.
He isn't. If he gets canned, they're going to bring in John Stamos to replace him, and the same crew's going to shoot the same show.
And the show's going to go down the tubes.
Right, and then
That's the point that Debbie's making.
Yeah, but,
he's going to cost all them people their jobs.
Right, and then they'll cancel the show, and then they'll start another show because they have to have a show during that time, and the crew will work on that show.
They'll get a syndicated show.
No, they won't. Not at 8 o'clock on CBS.
Shut up.
You out of your mind?
Go ahead, Debbie. Tell me stupid.
Very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He's hurting a lot of people, especially his family. I mean...
How about his kids that got to hear that?
Oh, those poor kids.
How old are his children? We're going to find that out right now, Debbie.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll find that out for you. Thank you, yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
He has 2 young twins. I know that.
They're girls, too, aren't they? No, he has 2 daughters.
He has 2 daughters with Denise Richards, and I think they're like 6 or so.
Wait till they can
5 and 7.
Okay.
Wait till they can
I
grasp
averaged
of this.
These poor kids. They can only live in $8 million homes.
I'm not.
People are so dumb.
I have to totally agree with Goldman on this one. I don't feel bad for these kids at all.
Hollywood kids don't see their parents anyway. It's all nannies and everything. Their kids are fine. I'm sure that they're going to be okay.
Mental damage this is going to do. You'll never repair these poor kids' minds.
They get $55,000 a month. You give me $55,000 a month, you can mentally damage me all you want.
And physically and whatever you would like to do. Yes.
Like to mentally damage you. $55,000 a month. What is that? That's not even $1 million a year. It's $600,000.
Poor kids. Cocaine. I'm so sick of everyone. The man wants to do some blow. Let him do some blow.
That is a horrible attitude.
Horrible attitude. You want to drink Johnny Walker Blue? Drink it.
Johnny Walker Blue is illegal.
Oh. Do you know why cocaine's illegal?
Yes.
Because it makes black men rape white women. That's why they made cocaine illegal in the early 1900s. Because it made black women rape white women. That's a great reason
it made black women rape white women?
That's a great reason to
I
make
want to
something
watch
illegal.
That. What do you mean it made black men?
That was how the government made cocaine illegal. They sold it to everybody. These black guys are raping our white women. We got to make cocaine illegal. Not kidding. That's how it happened. That's how cocaine became illegal.
You know, you spend way too much time on the internet.
Do you know why marijuana is illegal? It makes Mexicans lazy. Not kidding. That's why marijuana is illegal.
Welcome to the Goldman Show.
You spend way too much time on the internet.
It's not internet. This is actual research.
Do you know why the two are illegal?
I told you, but you tell me why.
Because they haven't found a way to tax it yet.
Well, that's a big part of it.
Yes, and once they do, they'll legalize it.
Okay.
Especially the Democrats.
Yes, I understand why they actually, I'm saying why they told us.
Here, let me tell you how screwed up this whole conversation is. I could just end it this way for you, okay? Very simply. In San Francisco, they legalized marijuana, and they want to ban Happy Meals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's the Democratic liberal thinking.
Yes.
That's liberal thinking.
Yes, it is.
Marijuana good, Happy Meal bad. What does marijuana make you do? Eat Happy Meals by the handfuls. When's the last time you heard somebody call up a radio show crying because they lost their home because they were addicted to a Happy Meal?
That could be me someday, but
you don't own a home.
That's how dumb your argument is about the black people with the cocaine,
That's
raping
how the
white
government
women,
sold it
making
to us.
marijuana makes Mexicans. Yeah, and you bought it.
I didn't buy it. I'm saying how ridiculous that argument was, and that's why we now have illegal cocaine.
Listen, what you need to do is move to San Francisco, smoke marijuana, and don't eat any more Happy Meals. You'll be a better person.
Deal.
Just ask Nancy Pelosi.
I'll do it in a second.
Let me go to my 650 gold line. Stan, you're in the air.
Hey, I got two things, a funny little thing and a serious thing.
All right.
Goldman, where he heard about black men raping white women, went on cocaine. I know where. His last KK meeting. What do you think?
Yeah, but probably, yes.
Those comments about...
He said that happened in the early 1900s. One of them things he read on the internet one night when he was high.
I thought it was at his last KK.
Yeah, it could have been. You never know.
Hey,
shut up, Goldman.
That 3.5 to 5% at AA compared to that other fellow said 50%. Quite a few years ago, my wife went through the AA thing, and I think it all depends what, those were the parameters of the, of success. And the 3.5, maybe, like, who went through AA and now can walk around and even have a beer and walk away? Is that what they're calling success?
I don't know anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I got to move. I really don't know anymore. All I know is I've been told this, you're not going to quit anything with anybody's help until you want to quit. What is that? Is he supposed to be sarcastic there with a little golf clap in the background?
That's common sense. When you want to stop drinking, you will stop drinking. When you want to stop smoking, you will stop smoking. That's the way anything works. When I want to stop hitting myself in the head,
Show.
I'll stop hitting myself in the head.
This is why people don't like you.
I don't care if people. I don't want stupid people to like me anyway, so I'm okay with it.
I mean, I wanted to lose weight.
Meeting. I'm defending black people against stupid, ignorant government people from the early 1900s, and suddenly I'm at a KKK meeting. That's idiocy.
Sounded like you were a little prejudiced there.
White power, say it then.
But see, you know what ruined this whole thing for you?
What's that?
Is you had a caller that called up that agreed with you that made no sense.
That hurt.
That hurt your argument.
Yeah, it did.
If the guy would have made a little sense.
Momentum. I would have gotten some momentum.
Right. You would have got a little respect.
Yes.
Respect is big in Northeast Ohio.
Is it?
Yes. WTAM 1100, you're in the air.
Yeah, hey, Mike, I have an idea for all these people that are saying Charlie Sheen is a villain and everything he's doing is hurting America. I think they should put him in a rocket and launch him to Mars or Jupiter. I mean, he's done nothing wrong to hurt anyone, if anyone but himself, but these past few days, he is not on any drugs because he took those tests. And, I mean, they complain about he makes too much money. He's a funny guy. He's been an actor for his whole life. And he should be able to make as much money as he can make. I mean, I'm actually glad that he might not be doing the show now because if he does a new Major League movie, that probably is going to be more exciting than the actual Cleveland Indians season.
Yeah. Well, I just think when it's all said and done, you're going to find out Charlie was doing a little acting here. It's just me.
How many fake drug test results do you think 2 million can buy? He took a drug test and he's clean. Sure he is. I could write on a piece of paper, Charlie Sheen is clean.
Who you need to ask is the athletes.
Yes.
Don't ask me that question. Ask the athletes that question. WTAM 1100, you're in the air.
Hey, Trev.
Hey.
Noel.
Noel, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes, turn the radio off. You'll get all confused, Noel.
Okay, that's in the other room. No, I just want to know, Charlie Sheen, what's wrong with the way he's living?
I know you sound a little like you're living like Charlie.
Yeah, I wish I was. I'm living in Palm Heights.
Yeah, well, you sound a little. Yeah. Okay, so you're not drinking or anything, Noelle?
I always drink.
Yeah.
You guys can make fun of it on the air. It doesn't really matter.
That was not me laughing. I was the only one that did not laugh. That was Jennifer laughing hysterically along with Goldman.
Sorry.
They were laughing at you because you're an alcoholic, Noelle.
Yeah, okay.
I was not laughing. I am on your side, Noelle.
Gamblers Anonymous and...
Noelle, I feel your pain.
No, why place signatures on people that,
Amen.
You want to gamble, you want to drink, you want to...
This might be the best call ever.
Why place... I can't think of it at the moment.
Signatures?
Signature. That's it. Thank you very much.
Noelle.
Yes.
I'm just a little curious. I'm not the one laughing here, okay? So I'm on your side. You can talk to me, girl.
Shit, I've been trying to...
No, wait, don't sweat, Noelle.
Use an S word.
Don't swear, Noelle.
Hang up.
I am not hanging up on this woman. Noelle.
Yes, you are.
Listen to me, Noelle. Noelle, what have you had to drink today?
3 beers.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Because you sound a little woozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add to this, Noelle?
Triv, I love you. I hope you made enough money on this weekend.
Thank you, Noelle. Anything else you'd like to add?
Anybody?
Oh, boy. Hang up.
Are you all right, Noelle?
I'm fine.
All right. One last thing, Noelle, before we let you go. What else would you like to say? We're living dangerously here with the with your mouth.
Right now.
Yes. You all right now?
I'm fine. Don't take anything. Don't. Hey, you don't know me. I don't.
Triv Show.
Yeah. Charlie Sheen. What a guy. Tomorrow we're going to do, I'm going to introduce you to something tomorrow. Tomorrow you have to be here tomorrow because I'm just going to tease it this way. I think I found a guy I can vote for President of the United States of America in 2012.
A guy, so it's not Sarah Palin.
I think I found a guy.
Wow.
That I could vote for. Now, if she's his running mate, wow, what a ticket that'll be for me.
Slam dunk.
Yeah. But tomorrow, I'm going to let you hear an interview of somebody I think is finally worthy of leading this country and turning this country back into the country it once was. And we need that help very quickly in this country. We got to get these buffoons out of power right now. Well, in 2 years. Anyway, back to Charlie Sheen. One of the most amazing interviews I've ever heard in my whole entire life. Now, a lot of people think he's all screwed up on drugs and all that. I think the guy does drugs I think he does them part-time.
Just for fun.
I think a lot of it is an act, and it's all publicity. I'm going to let you hear an interview that was done with Charlie Sheen on Good Morning America. Take a listen. This is just, you're not going to believe it.
Your anger and your hate, I think, is coming off as erratic to people.
My passion. It's all passion.
Your passion is coming off as erratic to people.
Well, you borrow my brain for 5 seconds and just be like, dude, can't handle it. Unplug this bastard. Yeah, because it fires in a way that is, I don't know, maybe not from this particular terrestrial realm.
I think some of those things that you're putting out there are making people think something's wrong with you.
That has nothing to do with me, really. I mean, they're entitled to, I suppose, interpret stuff as they must. What are you a doctor of?
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
Wow, what does that mean?
I guess that you're on two ends of the spectrum.
Wow, and then what? What's the cure? Medicine? Make me like them? Not going to happen. I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? If I'm bipolar, aren't there moments where a guy like crashes and like in the corner, like, oh my God, it's all my mom's fault? Shut up. Shut up. Stop. Move forward.
Have you had any celebrities reach out to you to try and help you?
Yeah, like radical people like Sean Penn and Mel Gibson and Colin Farrell and just radical people, and they're not telling me what to do.
Who gave you the best piece of advice?
Oh, they didn't give me any advice, and within that, there's great advice. It was just love, and so just to see. It's oftentimes says unknown, but occasionally a giant marquee name comes through on your caller ID, and it's like winning.
When was the last time you used?
I use a blender. I use a vacuum cleaner. I use household items. When was the last time I ingested or took drugs?
Yes. When was the last time you took drugs?
Such an AA stupid expression or term. I don't remember. I do not remember.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago,
maybe a month
2 days ago,
6 weeks. I don't know. It was a couple days before the suits rolled in and said, change it, change everything. We're shutting you down.
Tell me about the last time you took drugs.
The last time I took drugs, I probably took more than anybody could survive. What
are we talking about? How much?
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed. I have one gear. Go.
How do you survive that?
Because I'm me. Because I'm me. I'm different. I just have a different constitution. I have a different brain. I have a different heart. I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
But you're only human.
Now, there's certain blends I will not entertain because that's how people go down. I'm too smart to do that. So, I'm sorry for the guys that happened to, but you should have read the directions before you showed up at the party.
So you actually have a strategy about how you take your drugs?
No, I just have a couple of rules. I don't know if it's a strategy.
You're clean right now.
Sure.
So is this better now? Your life now, clean with your children?
Yeah,
is
no,
it better
it's perfect.
than
It's not
being
better.
on drugs?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. No, it doesn't compare. They're whole different realities. There's great things about both, but what I'm harnessing now is absolute, focus.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I've come back from a place that people can put labels on it and they can figure all this stuff out. They can try to normalize it, boring, stupid, and that's fine. But for me, it's I've just answered to a higher calling, and it happened in the blink of an eye, and I'm totally excited by it.
Are you worried you're going to relapse?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going to. Period. The end.
But how do you
I blinked
know?
and I blinked and I cured my brain. That's how. Everybody has the power. It's because everybody, can't is the cancer of happen.
Mm-hmm.
Can't is the cancer of happen. I can't do it. The Nike slogan doesn't say just try it. Oh, okay. Just try it. No, just do it, man.
But you love to party.
I mean, what's not to love?
How do
Especially when you see how I party, man. It was epic. The run I was on made Sinatra, Flynn, Jagger, Richards, all of them just look like, droopy-eyed, armless children.
When you look back at the last time you used drugs, are you disgusted with yourself? Or do you think, how could I have done that?
I'm proud of what I've created. It was radical.
You're proud of that party moment?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Drugs?
No,
Why would you be?
Because I expose people to magic. I expose them to something they're never otherwise going to see in their boring, normal lives. And I gave that to them. I may forget about them tomorrow, but they'll live with that memory for the rest of their lives. And that's a gift, man.
One of the women said that she was afraid she might OD. One of the women who was here.
What's that got to do with me?
You're showing them the party.
That's got nothing to do with me. That's all on her. And if she does, I'm sorry.
You say that you like the feeling of being on drugs and it's exciting and fun.
Not anymore. It bored the hell out of me after a while. I was like, okay, let's try something else.
How can anyone believe that you will stay clean, given your track record?
I'm not interested in what people believe. I'm interested in what I believe, and I believe in the truth. And that's what rules me.
Well,
unbelievable.
Part of the problem is that the interviewer, first of all, you can tell by the way she phrases stuff, has never used drugs, but also
Andrea Canning,
yes. She's coming from a point that he's not, which is that not being on drugs is a positive thing. So she can't break herself from that of, well, of course you would want to be drug-free. Why wouldn't you want to be drug-free? Because it's fun to take drugs. That's why you don't want to be drug-free. It's not everyone thinks that drug-free is the way to go just because the majority of society may say that they do, even though the vast majority of society actually does drugs.
Welcome to the Goman Show.
I agree with him, but
what was the point there you were trying to make?
I'm not making a point.
Drugs are fun.
No, I'm kind of curious. What was the point you were trying to make there?
The point that I'm trying to make is that when she's asking questions, she can't believe his answers. You're proud of that? If I threw a party where everyone had the time of their lives, I would never be prouder than of that. Just because it's not what society deems appropriate or the media deems appropriate doesn't mean that you can't be proud of it. If the point of your life is to have fun and you cause other people to have a lot of fun, then you've succeeded in what you wanted to do. And you should
Welcome to the Goman Show.
And you should be applauded for that.
Well, throwing a party where everybody has a great time and throwing a drug-infested orgy in a hotel room is a little different.
The second one sounds a lot more fun.
I don't understand how it's different.
I mean, who enjoyed... Let me explain to you, okay? First of all, most of the broads are there anyway. All of the girls that were there anyway probably are drug heads and probably have been screwed 400,000 times. So he introduced them to nothing new. You're only thinking about your life. You have never maybe have done that. But he took people that already are in that world and just said, come and party with me. So he's trying to make it like he threw this whole big, elaborate party, and these people experience things they'll never experience in their life. Them women have been screwed everywhere. They've probably been screwed in the eardrum.
That's very possible.
And
yes.
we think it was the first time they did drugs?
No.
He was with porn stars. Do you know what porn stars do?
I'm aware, yes.
Do you know what they do for a living?
Yeah.
They screw.
Yeah.
So what new did he introduce them to, is my point.
A higher level.
Of screwing?
Of drugs and atmosphere.
A higher level.
I guarantee you those...
Crack is a higher level of drugs.
I guarantee you they'd never been to a party that cost millions of dollars.
You know, we were just talking off the air about the Doors and Morrison, and would they be as good without drugs?
There's no way. Because a lot of the ideas for the music come from doing drugs, the creativity.
How many entertainers, actors, singers, dancers, athletes are doing drugs to enhance their performance?
Vast majority. If you add in athletes, we were talking about the air, I think about 98% of entertainers use some sort of drug. But as far as when you add athletes, I don't know. But I'd say vast majority.
I wouldn't say are currently using all the time drugs. I would say definitely over half. But I wouldn't say.
No, I don't
98.
mean addicted. I mean using to enhance whatever it is they're performing. Whether it's singing, dancing, acting, an athletic feat, whatever it may be. I mean, because painkillers for athletes is a drug.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. We were talking about this off the air. We just did the benefit. And Goldman was up on stage. And, of course, I was up on stage, and Seth and Jennifer were up on stage. But me personally, I cannot get on a stage in front of people without alcohol. I can't do it. I could talk in front of a microphone to 10 million people. It doesn't bother me one bit. Up on stage, I need alcohol. So if I was on tour and had to do that for a 3, 4, 5 month period, like 5 shows a week, there's no doubt I'd be taking a pill to get up there, and I'd be taking a pill to go to sleep at night. There's no doubt in my mind that would happen to me.
I used to have dreams about dancing when I was doing shows weekly. Oh, just dreams on dancing and being on stage. Things would go wrong, and if they went wrong, what would I do? Just things like that. Oh,
I mean, it's a great point. I mean, you know, I think there's so many people using in one form or another, they don't even actually know they're using. Whether it's sleeping pills, whether it's any type of pill to enhance whatever it is you want.
Mm-hmm.
They even got the blue pills out there now.
They do.
There you go. I mean, you know, think about all the pills we are taking.
Yep. Well, Bill Maher, the comedian, made a comment kind of like the texter or the caller who said that he wouldn't want to do heroin, but it hasn't hurt his record collection. Because the people who did do heroin made some pretty good records. I think Jimmy was pretty good at playing the guitar.
You can't hear Jimmy.
I like to listen to him, though.
You can listen, but you can't hear him.
I can hear him.
Victor, you're in the air, Victor.
My
Mike Trivisonno, how are you today?
Wonderful. Are you a first-time caller?
I am.
Don't try to do it yourself.
I'm okay. Oh, no, I'm not.
Go to AbsoluteRoofingInc.com.
Yes, Victor.
Thanks a lot for taking my call. You know, the other day you had a thing on where you made a comment that the issues with society were the politicians have screwed it up. I subscribe to you that the other half of that, because I think you're right, is the comments and mindset that Goldman just said a few minutes back about Charlie Sheen's interview, and there's nothing wrong with that type of party. Now, mind you, you're also right that half of the society is on drugs, because I just stopped at Starbucks, and I think everything on that menu could be considered a drug at times. But the point is, when you glorify illegal drug use, and he was doing 7 blocks or whatever he said at a time, and when you have those people in a more role model category, that's why society is as screwed up as it is, and this country is going to the hell in a handbasket.
If your kid's role model is Charlie Sheen, that's your fault, sir.
Well, I understand that, but my kid's 4 years old, and his role model will never be Charlie Sheen, nor will it be somebody like you.
Good.
My point is this, okay? Irresponsibility is something that can be fixed by making a decision like he said, and he's choosing not to do that. So he's choosing to be irresponsible, and in the meantime, he screwed up his opportunity, because there's other people on the network that kicked him off that are drug users. It's just he screwed it up because he had a holier-than-thou attitude about it, and that's the problem.
Well, you know, sir, and see, you have one belief, Goldman has another, but here's the problem I have, Victor, okay? Can I be Mr. Neutral for the first time in my radio career?
Absolutely.
Goldman shouldn't force his opinion on you, his way of life. You should not force yours on him. That's what makes America a true melting pot of all different types of thinking and people.
Exactly, and that's why I'm talking to you and him, because I think his thought process is off base, and going back to what you had said the other day, that's part of the problem with this country.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, to some people, and I got to go to news here, but some people think that this is a problem, and other people say that's not a problem. The problem we're having in this country is we're trying to force our way of life on everybody else and our beliefs on everybody else, and that's what's really wrong. Jennifer said that Charlie Sheen was tweeting.
He's on Twitter now. He has 50,000 followers. I joined when he had 20.
Yeah.
But he has 50,000 now.
All right. Somebody just texts us at 21095, brought to you by Pizza Pan, says, I think Charlie Sheen got a Twitter. All right, let's change gears here for a second. Let's go out to beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, where the Indians are holding spring training at Goodyear. And the voice of the Cleveland Indians, Mr. Tom Hamilton, is on our hotline. Let's welcome Mr. Hamilton to the show. Mr. Hamilton, long time no talk to. How you been, buddy?
I know, Michael. Good, thanks. How you doing, Trev?
Not bad at all, Tom. Hey, Tom, before we get started with baseball, have you paid attention to any of Charlie Sheen's interviews of late?
I was at the health club this morning working out. Man, that took the hour through real quickly listening to him. It was like, he's kind of off his rocker, isn't he?
Is that bizarre or what? Tom, here's my take on it real quick, okay, Tom? I think he's acting. I really do. I don't think he's that. I think he's putting on a performance here.
Well, then it's the best one of his career.
So you did see it this morning while you were working out, huh?
I sure did, and all I could think of, I guess I'm getting old, well, I am, but all I could think of was his dad, who I think is one of the great actors of all time, and how worried they must be as a mom and dad.
Yeah. I heard you on with Bill Wills this morning, and speaking of working out, and I don't know, Will said you're ripped. You had a tight shirt on and everything up over there.
Well, I don't know. I think happy hour started a little early for Bill today, so...
So, Tom, how's it look so far? So far, so good, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I think, Triv, we've heard so much about some of these young kids, and now that you're getting to see them, some of these kids are as good as advertised. Chisenhall and Kipnis really jump out at you, and so do some of the young arms, Pomerantz, White, and a number of the bullpen guys. And there's an awful lot of good young talent. That may not necessarily be with the ball club come April 1st, but isn't that far away. And so you can certainly see a difference here, Mike, than I think you saw, the last couple of years, and maybe even 3-4 years ago, where you kind of wondered, where's the talent going to be when some of these other guys are gone? And, the other thing I think that jumps out at you, Mike, is physically how much bigger these guys are. In the last few years, when you would see our team on the field for batting practice against a lot of other teams, there was a physical mismatch. And you think of those teams in the 90s, and granted, I'm not saying size means these guys are going to the World Series. You still have to play, but there is something about bigger players, and those teams in the 90s had a lot of big people on it, and you're seeing that size again, especially the pitchers that are 6'3", 6'4", and throw hard, and players that are bigger and stronger. And I just think there's more talent here, Mike, than what we've had in a while.
Tom, probably the question everybody wants to hear answered is, how does Grady look? Do you think he'll be ready? I mean, do you think he'll be ready early in April, or how's it going to go?
I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows, to be honest, Trev. If you would watch Grady simply take batting practice, you'd say, well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with him. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him swing the bat better than when you watch him during BP or see him swing with as much power as he's done this year during batting practice, here during spring training. But, there's more to the game than just that, and obviously he's not able to move laterally and make some of those quick movements yet as far as running. So, that's a really serious knee injury. I think we've heard more of it with basketball players. I think of Amari Stoudemire now with the New York Knicks, who it took him several years to really get back to the player that he was before and maybe that he is now with the New York Knicks. I think the advantage is baseball isn't as hard on the knees as maybe going up and down the hardwood floor. But I don't think, Mike, anybody knows for sure when Grady's going to be back. But when you talk to him, when you watch him, he looks good. I just think you're going to have to be smart about this. And, if he's ready opening day, great. If he's not ready until April 15th or May 1st, you got to look big picture, because he hasn't really played for the last 2 years, and that's had a great impact on this ball club.
Travis Hafner, what do you see there, Tom?
Well, I see a guy that's bigger and stronger. I mean, this winter, he said he just kind of threw caution to the wind. He kind of feels like he's at that point in his career, it's now or never. He's tried to do everything everybody wanted him to do in regards to the shoulders and make sure that he didn't do too much to re-injure those shoulders, and he's kind of basically said, to heck with it. I'm going back to, lifting weights, doing what I've done in the past. The shoulder hurts, because, he's running out of tomorrows. And, I think honestly, Triv, if it doesn't happen this year, it's not going to happen. I think this is a make or break year for Travis, and I think he feels that way too.
Tom, I was saying this one day last week. I was talking about this. Two big ifs. If Travis can get back to being Travis and Grady can be back to where Grady was, and you throw Santana and Chu and those four in the middle of a lineup, that ain't bad, Tom.
Well, I think what you're talking about then, Mike, is you're averaging a run a game more than you did last year. And if you do that, suddenly you're a ball club that's got a chance to win, because I really think the bullpen's awfully good. And I think the starting pitching is much more settled. A year ago at this time, Trev, we were saying, can Jake Westbrook come back from elbow surgery? Will we ever see Fausto Carmona dominate again? And you didn't know anything about Mitch Talbot, and Justin Masterson was really struggling. So, you don't have those question marks. I think the starting pitching is much more solid than it was a year ago. I also think you got a couple of guys knocking on the door in Pomerantz and White. And just as important, finally, it looks like this bullpen equation has been solved. You have a dominant ninth-inning closer, and you've got other power arms leading up to that. So I agree, Mike. I mean, I know it's March, and everybody's unbeaten and whatnot, and all the cliches you want to throw out there. But this ball club is in much better shape now than it was a year ago. But I'll harken back to what you said, Trev. I think there are two critical keys to this club, and they are Grady Sizemore and Travis Hafner.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. I mean, it's sort of the same way. Well, anyway, Tom, how's the weather out there? Tom, how's the weather been so far?
It's been cool until today. Now it's 70s today. It's supposed to be 70s, 80s the rest of the week. The typical Arizona cloudless day and great look at the mountains. And and no flooding and no blizzards. So it's really been nice, and it's supposed to stay this way for quite a while.
I haven't been out to Arizona to the spring training facility, but I heard it's a lot like Winter Haven, huh, Tom? Is that true?
Yeah.
Joke, Tom. That's a joke, Tom.
One similarity, Triv, is both places had light towers.
Yeah.
After that, there are no similarities.
Both had a home plate, right? Tom, I'll never forget the time in Winter Haven. We're sitting in the press box, and it's full up there, right, with media people, and a snake crawls across the counter. You remember that day?
Scared the bejeebers out of Paul Hoynes.
Yeah.
And I think other people, And, we haven't done any games down here where you started choking on the air because you were swallowing bugs. Winter Haven had some unique challenges that we haven't had to face out here.
Tom, that is one hell of a facility out there in Arizona, I've heard,
Incredible.
Huh?
Yeah, it really is, Mike. It's really well done, and the Indians have tweaked it, made some changes, so there's more fan accessibility, and they can get closer to the back diamonds and watch the workouts and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a terrific spot to come. And I think the other advantage, Mike, is that if you fly to Phoenix, you have now 15 teams in Phoenix, 15 teams in the state of Florida. So just think of that, the same number of teams in one state as compared to one city. So, you can come out here in a week and drive 15 minutes to a different ballpark and see another ballpark, see another game. Yeah, it is. It's a very unique experience, and, Phoenix has really marketed spring training very well.
Mr. Hamilton, thank you very much for the time, and I'll be talking to you again soon, okay?
Oh, I appreciate it, Triv. Always great catching up with you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Triv.
Tom Hamilton, voice of the Cleveland Indians. I feel warmer already, don't you?
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah. Time now to get you. We got to get out there one year and a few years from now and go see that facility,
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I mean, for just to see
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Take a vacation?
Yeah. Not to spend a week there or anything.
Okay. Yeah. Just a day. Just go fly out, look at it, and fly back.
Yeah.
Get a morning flight and a night flight.
Yeah. This traffic is brought to us by
Good Nature Organic Lawn Care and Cleveland Gladiators.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go Gladiators.
I was thinking of starting my own professional sport here.
Really?
Yes.
What's that?
Women's volleyball.
They already have that.
But I think I'm going to...
You're going to improve on it?
Improve on it.
Okay. How are you going to improve on it?
Topless.
Topless women's volleyball.
Right.
Could I be a setter or a bumper?
You could be whatever you want, as long as your wife don't find out.
Yeah, it's true.
Because if you set or bump, you're going to get in trouble, I'll tell you right now. Now, what do you think about it? I mean, have it inside the queue.
Right.
I guarantee I get 20,000 people every time they play.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, I think
I'd buy season tickets. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't put it on television. We just put it on radio.
I don't know how exciting that would be.
No.
Ratings through the roof.
Well, if you have the right announcer.
That can really describe the breasts?
The action.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the action.
Come on, this is a professional sport we're talking about here now.
Of course.
Don't take it to the gutter.
No.
If you have the right announcers, male, female team, I think they could set the scene of topless women's volleyball.
You could even, as the announcers, you could even have twins.
Yeah. I think I could sell out the queue every night.
I guarantee you would.
Well, okay. Now, what's the problem?
Because society frowns upon topless volleyball.
Well, we're not showing it on television.
Doesn't matter. I mean,
there's no windows they can look inside the queue. They got to buy a ticket to get in there.
There are like regulations. I don't think you can have nudity.
What do you mean regulations? Why not? You can have nudity anywhere. You just can't sell alcohol.
Well,
with the attendance, we don't need to sell alcohol.
Really?
So I can't have a beer while I'm watching the topless volleyball?
I don't think you can, with nudity, I don't think you can, well, maybe.
Yeah, you used to be able to at Pinky's.
Strip clubs, you can get alcohol.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
But don't they have to wear the pasties and everything?
No.
Oh, no?
There's fully nude places that you can have alcohol.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought those were juice bars.
No.
Boy, things have changed since I've been a scumbag.
Yeah. So maybe your topless volleyball would work.
Well, topless volleyball, I mean, think about it. You have to make a couple of rules,
Believe me, I'm thinking about it.
In case their boobs got caught in the net or something. You'd have to have an adjustment there,
That'd be painful.
Right. But, I mean, other than that, no touching.
Would it be like regular volleyball or like beach volleyball topless?
Regular. Or maybe beach.
I like beach better.
Okay.
Because then you get the tiny little underwears, too.
You have to have a rule where one woman could not touch another woman above the waist.
Is there like a weight limit for the women?
Bonus?
Is there a cup size
Yes.
requirement?
D and up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And a weight limit for the women.
We can't have athletes.
Right. Right. The woman has to have a waist.
Oh, yeah. Small one.
And nice long, and they have to play in heels.
Another good idea.
Stilettos,
Write
yes,
that one down. I forgot
Sand?
about that one. Heels is, yes.
Beach volleyball topless in
And
heels.
high heels. Right.
On the radio.
Exactly.
At the cue.
And their hair has to be done.
Yes. Professionally.
And fully made up. Makeup and everything.
Basically, you're just opening a strip club.
No, it's volleyball. Could you imagine topless women try to spike a volleyball?
I'm imagining it.
I think you are too. I can see. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to reveal somebody that I think I could definitely vote for president. I'm going to let you hear interview tomorrow. And I think a lot of you may agree. TJ, you're in the air on WTAM 1100.
Yeah, Mike, I want to give my take on this punk Chris Sheen. You know, he could OD tomorrow and I wouldn't give a rat's behind. You know, as a Vietnam vet, I got no use for him or his whole family. You know, the old man, the brother, who's that, Amelia or whatever his name
Amelia
is.
Estevez.
Yeah, they had no problem with making small fortunes doing Vietnam movies. Three of the most big anti-war liberals in Hollywood. Then they make these movies to portray us in a negative and degrading manner.
That's a great point. They were against the Vietnam War, and they did a Vietnam movie, right?
Well, Charlie did Platoon, and Martin did Apocalypse Now.
Right.
Yes, and Emilio, he did that sicko one. I couldn't even watch half of it. All they did was push this negative stereotype of the Vietnam vet in every one of their movies. I think the whole family sucks, and I could care, less what happens to them.
Yeah.
One other thing, Goldman, I want to tell you about the Doors, because I grew up with the Doors. And talking about drugs and performances, when Morrison showed up sober, he probably was the best there was. When he showed up all screwed up, his performances were horrible. I mean, horrible.
Well, you have a point there, because there were a couple of times where he actually forgot the words.
Yes. Booed off the stage, even he was so bad.
Exactly. He was booed off the stage.
Mickey Mantle spent as great of a career as Mickey Mantle had. He spent his career in a drunken stupor, and he even admitted before he died, had he taken care of himself and stayed off the sauce, who knows what kind of career he would have ended up with.
But how about writing the music?
Yeah, how are you going to write The End or Riders on the Storm without drugs?
I'll give you that. You look at Edgar Allan Poe, he was a heroin addict, and he did some great writing. Yeah, I agree with you with maybe writing the music and stuff, but the actual performance, I think, really suffers when they're all screwed up.
No, you're exactly right, because there was times he was booed right off the stage. He was so bad. He couldn't even sing. He was so screwed up.
No, and like I said, the Who was another one. The lead singer left the group because of the drugs. Believe it or not, he didn't take any drugs, but the rest of the group and almost split the group up, before it really got started.
Who?
Who?
No. Thank you, TJ.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Well, that's a great point about the performance with Morrison.
No, I agree with that. I'm not saying that it made you perform better, but it certainly opens up your mind to write songs, like I said, like The End. That's not weird scenes inside the gold mine. What sober person thinks of that?
We got 22 seconds before we go to news. Do you think you could YouTube one of Morrison's drunken stupors on stage? We might not be able to play it, though, huh? It might be risky. I got a dump button. What's the difference? So it's hair will fall out. We got 40 seconds before we go to news. Morrison drunk, right there. It's already there. Morrison drunk live.
Oh, God, please don't play
this. Oh, boy.
Here's Morrison drunk live. Get ready. Get ready to dump this for real, Seth.
Know that it would be untrue. Know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you
He ain't hammered.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Look for one of the drunken ones. It doesn't say drunk up there. Here it is, Drunk Live. Here we go. Get ready, Seth. This is Morrison of the Doors, Drunk Live, in a performance in Miami. This might be where they get booed off.
I ain't talking about no revolution. And I'm not talking about no demonstration.
Oh, my God.
I'm talking about having a good time. I'm talking about having a good time this summer.
Fast forward it. See if it can be fast forward. Where he sings. He's drunk.
I think he sounds great.
Oh, he sounds wonderful. You know what you forget about Morrison? He was one good-looking dude. You know? All right, we'll be back.